everything.
You're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Woo! That sounds fun. And it sounds like the audio's working.
Yes.
Okay. So, what's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku Animation News Network with
Krelika Kane, who is sick because I need to test, but I believe I have COVID.
I don't think you have COVID.
And that if I do have COVID, it would be for the 6th time.
6? Don't you do that? 6 is this.
But German, 1, 2, 3.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kiss my ass.
I just like doing it that way. 1, 2, 3.
But anyway, we are here to talk about Gozyuger episodes 32 to 36, which was basically just 2 mini arcs in those 5 episodes. So it actually worked out that we stopped at episode 31 last time, since 32 to 34 was one solid arc, and then 35 and 36 was one story.
That's very true, I think. Yes. Correct. Whatever.
I know I'm correct. You're weird. But anyway, so first we have, at the end of 31, Sumino comes to find out, has learned who Rei is, and then finds a picture of Rei with Rikuo.
Yes. Which we already knew.
And so 32 kicks off with her basically screaming at Rikuo for saying, "Why didn't you tell me?" And he gives this whole story about what happened, because apparently a fan decided to stab him because he wasn't in love with her. But Rei jumped in the way and got injured, which then ended his surgery, being a surgeon career.
Well, and Rei was like his brother, not legitimate brother, but a close family friend.
And so he's like, "Yeah, I need to be the one to redeem him." And somebody was like, "I don't give a shit about what happened. He took my sister. That's all I care about."
Which, legitimately, it makes sense from her viewpoint, because if he kidnapped her sister, very few people are going to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry he had a terrible time."
I don't give a damn.
So I understand where both of them are coming from.
No, but I totally agree with Sumino on that one. Like, I don't care what his backstory is. He could have been in the biggest pet veterinarian. I don't care.
But it does suck. Now, the stabbing scene, from what I remember, was so silly.
Yeah, it was.
Like, the way she stabbed him in his hand.
She was like this with this little blade, and apparently
But if it cuts particular veins in your hand where you can't use
it cut Rei right here.
Well, there's also veins that affect
I know,
hand.
but the fact that little knife was able to cut like all the way down his arm, I'm just confused on the matter. Like, what?
Television logic.
Like, and what did she think was going to happen? Did she think she was going to be successful?
Maybe.
With the way she was running at him? And okay, sure, whatever.
And for anybody who has questions about the rumors,
we'll talk about that later.
Yes. So any rumors we are going to skip until after even if we stop midpoint to take comments.
Well, I was going to say, we'll probably read the comments. Well, and so we have, at the same time this is going on, we have Shining Knife and, what's her name? Cake.
Whole Cake?
With a cake. Shining Knife and, oh my god. What is her name?
Let me see.
Okay, whatever. But we have Knife and Cake start arguing with each other. And they decide they want to be separated. So they start going around Japan trying to find someone who can split them apart. And they have there's this whole little thing of they were two separate people. Sweet cake, yeah. Two separate people who then merged into one. And I never actually realized that the things on their front were actually arms as if they're hugging each other.
Oh, I noticed that.
I never actually noticed that before.
It looks super romantic.
And then they're trying to split. They try to use the guy showing off the most powerful knife he's trying to sell. They tried that, couldn't split them apart. So when the Gozyugers appear, they're like, they've got blades! You can split us apart! Nope, still didn't work. And Sumino ends up confronting Rei and starts fighting him. She gets her ass whooped. Mm-hmm. He summons... Let's see, that was when he had all the grunts with him, if I recall.
Yes.
Let me check my notes. No.
Oh no, he got them after he became.
Yeah, that's next episode. But he's fighting Sumino, and Rikyo appears, starts fighting him. He gets injured trying to protect Sumino. Mm-hmm. But then we come to find out that Sweet Cake and that really Shining Knife is a servant to the Calamity.
Yeah.
Who is actually named Cladis. And Sweet Cake was the counterpart that was put together to basically remove his Calamity servitude.
Well, yeah, because they're basically just...
So they really were two different beings who kind of fell in love, and then Tega June merged them together to get rid of the Calamity servant's side.
Because she freaks the fuck out when Calamity returns.
Yeah, because Calamity is apparently the true evil of the world, even though she's trying to do evil in the world.
No, she just wants to marry her boy.
And she wants to reset it to be her in her image. But then we have, and we find out Rei is being controlled by another servant of Cladis called Bellum. Who does this Captain America shield attack. I think it was this one, or was that the next episode? Where did I put my notes? Yeah, he throws his shield around like Captain America. And we had... What else did we have in there? Oto, pass with Rei.
Do you want me to pull up the...
Oh, there was some pretty cool camera work in this episode, too. That's what I had in there.
Wow, we're really prepared.
Hey!
I've been sick, so...
I have my notes right here. I wrote that very tiny.
Let me see.
Cap, because I couldn't fit it into that.
You know you can use more than one line.
I know.
For your episodes. You don't have to fit everything into one line.
Well,
on a sheet of paper that, just so you can tell, no one can read this.
I can read
it's gibberish.
Seriously? Lucky for you, it's still on the right page. But anyway, So then part 2 continues, which is, let's see, a sudden breakup, a big fight between Knife and Cake. Oh, yes. And Shining Knife then seemingly kills Sweet Cake.
Yeah, he kills his wife.
With finger attacks. And so she goes all black. Or her eyes go all black.
Well, I will say I was of two minds, get it, with this particular situation. Because one, I was like, does that mean Sweet Cake is going to be gone? Because of the fact that he broke the chains that was keeping him. So it was like the chains of love.
I was thinking of Kiva, Break the Chain.
Oh, I have so many songs with this one. I was like, ooh, Chains of Love. But nonetheless, I was wondering if this was going to change up the dynamic of the team. Because we even have Kuon who comes in.
Oh, yeah, he gets yelled at by...
Tega June.
What is
Sorry,
the cat
our cat is the great terror of all lizarddom. So he has to go collect him for me. But with this episode, when we do have Shiny Knife allegedly kill Sweet Cake, he becomes just like this servant.
Yep.
And he goes apeshit strong. He's like
he
strong.
starts kicking ass. So then our next episode we have continues because the Rangers decide to flee because there is no way they can win at this point in time.
They actually multiple times during this mini arc where we get the introduction of the Calamity, the Rangers, like the only one that was truly scared initially to start was our super strong sixth Ranger.
Yeah, because he knows exactly what's going on. He
freaked the fuck out. And I was actually kind of impressed that even he recognized before everybody else of, okay, this is bad.
Well, and he's like, yeah, he was the one that says, we need to retreat. Well, and then so our next episode starts out with him actually explaining the Calamity and Bellum and all this stuff.
Because it happened during his time, too, 10,000 years ago.
10,000 years ago, I'm free.
And so he explains the whole story of Calamity. But the way it's done, I felt was kind of interesting because he's explaining, but Tega June is also explaining
to her minions,
to Fire Candle, Bouquet, and Kuon. Because apparently they weren't around 10,000 years ago either to understand what's going on. So you only have two beings outside of Tegasword that know the backstory, but Tegasword is being surprisingly silent as well.
Well, and then we had in this episode, let's see, is this the one where, or is that the next one with, oh God. No, it is this one where we have, because, oh my God, Hoiru is not present when Komade is telling the story.
No.
Because he's doing a delivery, which just happens to be to his parents' place.
Yes, because we have that little side story because it's that reminder of his parents had other kids. And I don't know if these other kids were adopted, if they had other kids, if she gave birth to other children.
I think they're replacement kids.
No, I don't think they're replacement kids because I'm actually surprised that the parents are still together because many times in real life, when a child is kidnapped or killed or something tragic happens, the parents actually break up over time because the trauma is hard to get over and it's hard for them together to get over such a traumatic experience. So in the series, I'm actually amazed that they are able to get over their trauma. And with the age of the elder child, I'm wondering if she was pregnant
when they
were kidnapped. Like the baby that she was pregnant with. And this is all assumption. That was like kind of a surprise baby. And that's what allowed them to heal.
But so then Hoiru gets transported to Tegasword's little dimension where he meets, where he sees, come on.
I'm letting you do it.
Fine. They totally botched the way to say this name. It should have been Final Sword.
I just wasn't going to even try.
But so the final sword that apparently no one in history has been able to pull because none of them are named King Arthur or Arthur Pendragon. So
well, I thought it was called a MacGuffin.
So Hoiru starts getting sent to this alternate dimension where him and Kuon had never been kidnapped. And he has to decide, do I stay or do I go?
Should I stay or should I go now? Sorry, we're going with 90s and 80s.
Actually, I should write that down.
What? You forgot about that song? It's not the actual song name, you know.
Stay or go. I don't care. I will
It's the chorus of the song.
Yes, but that's still that notes to remind me to use that in the review.
But in all honesty, it's kind of like, think about Geets when he loses, when Ace loses, and the world he goes to, because it's still sister and father, so it's this family time. So it's kind of like going into this alternate thing, because at first he's like, wait, this is all wrong. And then he sees a picture and it's like, ding, his memory goes away temporarily. And he's like, oh, okay, this is the way it is. So at first, Sword, I think, thinks.
Well, Sword tells him you have to make your choice. Do you want to go to that world or stay here and help defend it? It's your choice. I can't help you. And Hoeru, you can tell he wants to go there, but then he thinks about everyone
that he'd be leaving.
Yep, and because they're also in the middle of a battle with Rei, who I love the fact that he summoned grunts from previous Sentai series.
Oh, it got a little chaotic though over time, because I'm like, where are the Bell people? What's going on? And I have to differentiate. Rei has nothing to do with the Bell world.
He's with the Calamity, not the Bryden world. Well, and then we have, let's see, what was it?
We also had a reintroduction of a character that died in one episode. That was not real. The new Ryuji.
Oh, well, he didn't die.
I thought he's dead.
No, Asami?
Yes.
No, he was captured.
Oh, I thought
because he was enslaved by Rei. No, Rei captured him in his ring. He was released to be his servant. They free him, and then he goes back home to his planet.
Oh.
But I think that was episode 34 when he went back home. But yeah. So then he finally Hoeru decides, I'm gonna help my friends. We might not act like a team, but we're defending the world. And he's like, I'm gonna pull this sword. Take a sword. You got me into this, so you're helping me get out of this. And forces him to help pull the sword. And they turn out, it takes a few people to pull the sword, not just one person. That's why no one's ever been able to do it before.
Because the whole contest is there can only be one.
So he gets a new form.
It's called MacGuffin, by the way.
Tega June, if I recall, fights in this one because she wants to participate, and she gets her ass handed.
I was going to say she got
her ass handed to her. So Hoeru has he has his new sword and new form. Comes in, kicks ass, and then the episode kind of ends again for our final part, which once again has Bellum coming in. Cake or Shining Knife is still on his own.
And Bouquet and Fire Candle are...
They've decided they're going to participate. So they fight in a battle against Bellum to injure him. They lose, but then they reveal to the Hoeru and them, hey, we injured them for you. So hit him right there in that little thing on his side.
Well, yeah, they all work together.
And if I recall, that's the one where Blue gets to use the final sword attack. So he gets the final outfit, the new outfit. So it looks like it's going to be like a Shinkinger situation where they're sharing the upgrade form. They're not going to all have it at one time.
Well, no, not like in Boom Boomger where they all got their specialty jackets.
And then, what's his name? I made the comment when we were watching it because they defeat Bellum. Rei is basically imprisoned for his crimes. Oto is found, but she's comatose. Comatose. And then Shining Knife wakes up and is like, darling, what? No, I killed you. And she wakes up. And I'm like, so everything's back to status quo so that the next episode can be written by not Akiko so that there's nothing that's the writer who writes the next batch of episodes had to know about before writing their episodes.
Well, I was a little pissed off that Sweet Cake was resurrected.
Well, yeah, it just.
Well, I was a little pissed off that everything was fine in the end. Like there was no consequence.
Well,
except for Rei.
But he's in jail. I just felt like that whole thing was anticlimactic. He's in jail. After all that, he's only imprisoned? What? That's it?
Like, I will say, the one sweet thing that I like is that Hoeru's mom, after everything kind of gets returned to normal, looks at him and she's like, do I know you?
Hey, you want to come over sometime when you're not doing a delivery? And then she's like, why did... But yeah, the whole thing just was so tied neatly in a bow. I felt like it kind of undermined the drama that was going on.
Well, it's like, is Calamity still around? Because they made it seem like even after this, Calamity still exists, but not.
I don't know. I mean, obviously it's going to still be around, but yeah, it was just weird how everything, and nothing is true and mentioned in the next two episodes.
Well, no, that's what also pisses me off, because it doesn't feel like anything has progressed story. Like, I was hoping, because of this mini arc, that something would progress story-wise, that we would get more for the story, but everything's back to normal.
Yeah, so I said everything's back to status quo after this. It's just, yeah, I felt like it just diminished the momentum that was going on this entire arc and all this build-up, that they finally were doing something with Rei and Oto, and then it was just all neatly tied, cleanly. Where it's just like, and nothing, even Sumino being reunited with Oto felt anticlimactic. It was just like, okay, like no celebration, no calling her parents up saying, hey, I found Oto. She's still, and apparently she was in a coma the entire time. Because I don't remember them mentioning that she was injured before earlier in the show. So she was in a coma the entire.
No.
I don't remember them mentioning that ever. She just said her sister went to a concert with a Gray Eyes Man, or was last seen with a Gray Eyes Man, and disappeared. I don't recall them ever saying she was injured and in the hospital unconscious.
No, they just said she was missing.
Yeah, I don't. So I'm like, wait, did they accidentally mix up their scripts from Zetz and Gozyuger there? Because
oh my god, that would be hilarious.
I mean, let us know in the comments if there was a point where they did mention Oto had been
found. Because as far as I was aware, she was still missing throughout.
No, I mean had been in a coma before she disappeared.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I know that there was a comp when she had the ring, when she lost the Shikinger ring, she passed out. But I don't recall them ever explaining why she passed out. So I feel like that bit of information was missing. And
she put the Shikinger ring on her, thinking it would.
Well, that's the next episode.
I know, but still.
Well, no, but yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of lack of information there, because if she, I don't know, I'm just confused on this whole scenario. Like, oh, she was in a coma. Okay, so why did Rei choose her? Is that why Rei chose her specifically? And is she the only one that he kidnapped? Because the way it seemed like is he had kidnapped multiple people, but he only kidnapped her. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it doesn't seem like the punishment fit the crime either. Or his anger didn't fit the crime of why he hated Rikyo as much either.
Yeah.
A lot of it didn't make sense altogether.
Like, why would he blame Rikyo for him getting injured when he's the one that jumped in the way of the girl with the knife to save Rikyo? I'm just very confused on how all that works. And now that we're actually talking about it and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, pulling it apart, like where I can just like,
Don't you dare ruin.
I'm gonna unravel it. But yeah, that didn't make any sense. You were yarning to do that, weren't you?
Yes. But no, it doesn't make sense. And then we come into our next two-parter.
Well, hold on. We'll do some comments before that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just.
Oh, honestly, the show
sucks because it had a lot. Because these 3 episodes had a lot of great battles. There was story development. We got to learn more about the Calamity. We had an interesting plot twist with Shining Knife and Sweet Cake. And then all of that was just undone.
Okay, let's go to comments. So, Anthony Sarkis, Grant.
Actually, one more. The supersized mecha. Because when Hoeru goes in the mech with Final Sword, how the mech then goes.
Oh.
I was like, and he just manages to carefully step over every single set of buildings. Because those buildings are like little tiny toys now. But he's just over them, like not even making any damage at all.
That's a good thing.
But it was just weird how you can have a mech that big and manage to avoid every single car.
It's called
building.
CGI.
Okay, whatever.
So, Anthony and Grant both say hello and what is up. And then Grant says, we got to see Goju Unicorn and Goju Lion get a happy ending.
Did we though?
Goju Lion got to see her sister again, and Goju Unicorn and Goju Lion and the Gray Eyes Man reconciled. What are your thoughts on these episodes as a whole? As you kind of got to see, he has started off excited about the arc and then has slowly unraveled himself. So he started to think about how much he liked them. And the more and more he thought about it, now he's like, oh. So your thoughts on the Gray Eyes Man? You know, Buster Blue?
None of it makes sense. His entire motivation just does not make sense.
Okay. Question. Deny 0012. Hello. We do know about the rumor. I know you kind of addressed it in a news report, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Eudes Conocido. I'd like to know your thoughts on the rumor. We'll talk about the strong rumors. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that. Apparently 35 and 36 are written by Naruhisa Arakawa.
They are.
Well, that kind of makes sense because I did get Arakawa feels with the kind of doing like the Showa type things. The Sentai we'll talk about once again. For anybody who's just joining us now or watching at a later date and you didn't start at the beginning, we'll be talking about the rumors closer to after the end because there's a lot to discuss about the rumors. Another question is on an episode of 5-Man, there is a boy who spends too much time on TV watching Battle Fever J and Denjimon. What this fact is this saying about the continuity of the franchise? Like, are they television shows in the 5-Man universe?
I don't think so. I mean, that's no different than the series that had. Oh wait, we don't have the anime there. Combatler V playing Endymos. It's just Toei using their own properties because then they don't have to pay any royalties for having their own shows on a TV screen.
Have you watched Ultraman Omega?
Yeah, we're 13 episodes in.
Sweet Cake's death should have been permanent. Big letdown for me. And that's by Cubernete Pirata.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
hello, Kubernetes, and yes, I agree. I think it would have put more of a risk for everybody, not just for Shiny Knife, but also Bouquet and
Or
Final
or
Candle.
it even would have worked if Tega June was the one who had brought Sweet Cake back because he's feeling distraught. They wipe his memory of what happened, and she resurrects Sweet Cake, and they don't have any memory of the last few days. That would have made more sense instead of she just, oh, I only put her to sleep. I didn't actually kill her.
Then we get a new general for the No One Army, and her name is Ribbon.
I saw that. Well, that's episode 37. So
okay.
That's in the trailer for 37.
And then Star Wars fan, hello. I know the big news right now is the Sentai possible cancellation, but are there any updates on Maya-chan?
Maya-chan? What's Maya-chan?
I thought that was the...
Oh, the actress for Sumino. No, we haven't heard anything on that. As far as I'm concerned, that's probably just nothing that was ever something.
Could you
or something that was really nothing.
Could you imagine Toei making a wedding themed Sentai?
No, because that would require them to have physical contact with characters.
Well, I also don't think, knowing that Sentai is more geared towards boys,
Boys wouldn't appeal to it.
Boys wouldn't get into it. Like, I think the closest you could get to it is probably like what they're doing for this. Having Rhydon be the evil villain, so to speak, it's probably the closest you'll ever get to wedding themes for a boy-targeted show. Because unlike girls who are almost taught to think about their future wedding, which is why you get bridezillas, it's not something that is inherently a male thing. Like, have you ever thought about what you wanted your wedding to be when you were a kid?
What?
No, legitimately.
Maybe.
Really? Oh, that's so cool. You were in touch with your feminine side. Well, I'm in touch with my masculine side. So that's not a bad thing. Is that why you're mad?
Basically, it was a Halloween masquerade.
Well, that's why I was wanting my wedding to be. So
it was a horror movie theme.
See, this is why we work so well together, because we want death for our wedding. Because the wedding march and the...
But it would also be at a graveyard, a cemetery.
Oh, I'm so down. I'm so down.
Okay, anyway.
Okay. Vow renewal, graveyard. That's so cool. All right. Paper doesn't have emotions, lady. Are they talking to me? Because I know paper doesn't. Oh, because I threw the paper. If Gozyuger's theme is wedding, making the only female ranger a unicorn as an allegory for a perfect woman is just priceless. Well, yeah, because unicorn. Because in recruiting world, we call hard to fill recs purple unicorns, because there's no way you could ever get a purple unicorn.
So what you're saying is Sumino's personality is mythological?
Yes. It's an impossible standard. Wedding rangers, red defloration, white rice, blue something, gold ring. Well, so the true allegory for a wedding is something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
Yeah, that's in Doctor Who.
No, that's how it's always been.
Yes, but
it's not just because it's Doctor Who.
It's in Doctor Who.
But so you would have
to see what the cat's doing.
You would have to have a blue ranger. Something old could be a red ranger. Something new could be a pink ranger. Something borrowed could be a black ranger type of thing there. But I still don't think you'll ever get a wedding theme. And white rice is actually bad, and most weddings don't do it anymore because if birds eat it, it actually makes them ill. but the theme seems subtle compared to other series. Ugly forearm form. They jump the shark so hard they give them a sharkum, mace, and lotus as well. I think they're talking about the calamity type form.
Or are they talking about the final sword when those like extra arms pop up?
Yes.
Where-
yes.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think about. I forgot about that because I think it's so dumb. But yeah, those weird arms that just magically appear as CGI, just
And yeah, Thomas Proctor. Hello, Thomas and Jake.
Schuster.
Jake Schuster, because he asked, didn't they in the samurai episode about the coma? And then Thomas is like, I don't remember such a remark at any point. And
yeah,
Kuberdete says, I try to think as well, doesn't ring a bell, although it would be sick to see Oto make a dream cameo in Zets. Ishinomori production should make a cameo episode a thing again.
But yeah, I don't recall them ever saying she was in a coma.
Oh yes, the one thing I will agree with from Anthony Sarkis that we didn't mention is the jealousy. The jealousy of Ryuji that Hoeru has another one-on-one experience with Tega Sword.
Oh yes,
that Ryuji never gets. And he is the most devoted servant of Tega Sword. And he never gets that time with his lord. Oh.
Yes.
It was episode 20. So Jake says it was episode 20. Oto mentioned she was in the coma.
But did she really see? I know she said that it would be bad if the ring fell off of her because she started to get sleepy, but I don't recall them ever going in.
Well, it could have been subtle and we may have missed it because you didn't like the gallery episode.
Yeah, but even you would think that'd be information Sumino would know, because it means she didn't just disappear off the street from the Gray-Eyed Man's. It means she was in a hospital and was taken away.
So Poetry Reboot might be cute if they make a girl-oriented show again. But I'm glad the Maya situation is a nothing burger. Well, yeah, I agree with that. The death till we part. Well, I already dug the hole. Oh, for the shining knife and stuff. Death till we part. I love Gozyuger, and that's by Blaze Hopper. Hi, Blaze Hopper.
Hello.
I'm not familiar with customs and traditions of Anglo weddings. Trust me, it gets weirder if you go with traditional Anglo weddings that's more Christian based, or if you go with Italian based, because that's not just Christian, that's Italian, or if you go with Jewish weddings, or if you go with I've been to way too many weddings, and Anglo weddings are not one size fits all. It is crazy how much goes into them. That's why I dreamed of weddings a little bit when I was with my friends, but in all honesty, it's too much work and too expensive for one day.
But I love Blaze Hopper. Parties inside, take a sword, but Ryuji is not invited.
I also heard rumor that the new Sentai was rebranding, so that's from Deny. So
we'll go over that after we talk about the last two episodes.
So let's talk about the last two episodes because I'm caught up with comments.
All right.
And then.
So our two episodes, yes, what I was pointing out was written by Arakawa, features a former friend of Kinjiro who has acquired a ring.
To also become young.
Yep, one also wants to become young.
And he's a rival from ever since they were little.
Yep. And he has the Ryu-Ranger ring, which I did like the Ryuseo design on the ring. And he
I
comes
actually
in.
thought these were.
This was, I think, the first time we've actually seen Kenjiro in school in like 30 episodes.
With his grandson.
I don't think we've seen his grandson since the episode he premiered in.
Well, yeah, I was like, oh, his grandson exists still. It's so cool.
But we've got so they start doing this competition against each other. Kenjiro and
Oh, let me find out his friend's name. No, I think the best part about when they start to do competition.
Kaku.
Kaku.
Because Master Kaku from Kaku Ranger.
But
from Die Ranger.
What I loved about this, the ridiculousness of it, is so they're about to start doing this tournament, beginning with fried rice. And the other Rangers are there, and whoever is like, why are we even here? Like,
but
what's the point of
they're
us?
doing all this stuff to cook rice, and they start eating Kenjiro's rice, and they're like, oh, this is awful. This is dreadful. And Kenjiro's like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, because he was trying to mimic his wife's way of doing it.
And then we have Kaku, who cheated to cook the rice because he used his ring to cook it. And he's all like, yeah, I've got this now. And they're all like, I don't know which one I think is worse.
Well, because it was so dry. Because the thing about fried rice is it's supposed to have a dryness to it.
I don't like fried rice.
Well, I think you have to have the right fried rice. Like the fried rice that they do at like most of the hibachi grills is really good. But the problem is if it's too dry, you have to like soak it in soy sauce then, and it just ruins the egg flavor and all the other flavors.
That's the other thing, though. I don't like fried rice also because of everything being mixed in.
Well,
because they also like to put peas in there.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of peas in it, but I like it with like green onions, carrots.
I just like my rice alone, not have everything mixed into it.
But Kenjiro is still my favorite.
So we've got a cooking competition. Then they decide to try. Let's see.
Which Kenjiro won by default, by the way.
Yeah, they're just like, we're giving it to Kenjiro. Then the second match that Kaku won was... Shoot. Now I'm drawing a blank on what the second match was. Because the third match was baseball. But then that's when all the villains interrupted.
Well, because we have a no one in this as well. So the second match... Hold on. I have it up.
Genji Kaku is his name. God, why is the second match not?
Hold on.
I'm actually about to find it. Okay. Oh, the Menko battle, where he throws the cards on the ground and it forms the
little
Arc de Triomphe, and then so Kaku.
Which even Hueru's like, wait, that's not how you play the game.
And then Kaku throws the cards down and
once again
uses the ring to make the Tokyo Tower, and they all just decide Kaku wins because he has the better Menko. Like it's like, but Kenjiro didn't cheat to build his.
But we also have a side story alongside this as well.
With the no one.
We have a no one that is the no one card.
Yeah, card no one.
And he's in a slump because of the fact that people don't play cards anymore, which they need to come to America because America is in love with poker, spades, which spades is the best game. And then all the other card games that there are.
The hell spades.
Oh, I'll have to show you. It's the best game.
But yeah,
nonetheless.
So he's in a slump. His friend, whose name is and also this thing, the card no one is a white tiger with a card theme. Mm-hmm. His friend,
who is a gold bell.
Yeah, who's the gold eyes, is named Ko. Ko being a white tiger in Die Ranger, but even better, Rentaro Nishi voices the eyes who was Shaddam in Die Ranger. So they have all this stuff harkening back to Die Ranger, which was pretty awesome. And they ride bicycles. The IEs ride bicycles in this episode because why not? But Trump no one. Well, Card no one, because his Japanese name is Trump no one.
I know.
Card no one is.
Well, I think they purposely didn't want to call it Trump no one.
Well, no, because Trump is what they call a deck of cards.
Well, I purposely think they didn't want to call it that in America.
In the Die Ranger movie, it's Trump. I forget what the actual name for Duke is in Japanese, but because it translates to Duke of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got Card no one is he's getting drunk all the time, depressed, living in a slum.
Children's show, right?
And
so, because Ko interrupts some of their battles, especially for the baseball one, or even before that, trying to record him getting beaten up by the Gozyugers so that Card no one
will feel inspired
to help him.
Well, and then so the Gozyugers fight Ko and Fire Kando and stuff,
while the other two are playing baseball, and they're just pitching and hitting.
Well, what I like though, I will say I did like when Kaku hits the ball, it's flying, and Kinjiro misses on catching it, and they're like, yes, yes, and one of the mechs for Brian's mechs flies by the ball, hits the mech, and bounces off.
Oh, yes.
Ruining his home run, and he's just like, what is that? And so we have our mech battle, which, let's see, what did I have in here for new mech? Why did I say new mech? Oh, because of the villains' new mechs, because they're upgraded forms of the villains' mechs. But then, so the Rangers destroy Ko, and
then we now have our next episode where
no, the Rangers destroy Ko. They're back. They come back to the bar or the cafe, and then Kinjiro walks in like really tired. Who won? Nobody. We never found a winner. So we're going to continue later.
And then we have our Card no one who is now inspired.
Because of Ko's demise.
So their final battle is Old Maid.
Yep. So in our next episode, we've got Kinjiro still depressed, and the boss lady walks in like, what's going on with him? Oh, he's just depressed right now. And here's your... Or he's had an argument with an old friend. Here's your breakfast. Thank you. Okay, bye. Like, hi, I'm here. Bye.
Well, in this one, so he eats his eggs. Then I think they all get kidnapped into...
Well, first we have a fight, which was pretty awesome. Or no, that is later. But yeah, they get a letter saying that you are to meet us at such and such time for a card duel, which all I'm thinking of then is Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm-hmm.
And Kaku's going to be there. And they're thinking Kaku's been kidnapped. But then when they get there, Kaku's sitting there in the chair like, yeah, I've joined with them to have my competition with you. So Ryuji is the first one to run out of cards. And it turns out that there's a certain rule you need to accomplish to win. Or no, it's not Ryuji. It's
Rikyu.
No.
Oh no, Kumade.
Yeah, Kumade. And Kumade's rule is to eat steaming hot.
Oh, I think it was like a hot bun or something.
Yeah, something, and he can't do it because it's too hot. And not spicy hot, just directly out of the fryer hot.
Yes.
So then he gets captured by Card no one. And then some of their other things, Ryuji's stipulation is he must call Tegasword stupid
Mm-hmm.
3 times, but he cannot do it. So he's gone. Sumino's is... I forget what Sumino's was. Hoeru, and I missed, because they did 3 of them at one time, which was Ryuji.
Oh, it was Hot Odin for him. And then Sumino's was perform a high-level one-liner.
Yes, because she came up with something that was really stupid, and they're like...
It was, so the guy said the apartment complex hasn't gone up yet. And I told him to do a part from me instead. Like apartment.
Well, yeah. The way Overtime subbed it, it was an actual pun.
Yes. But, however, the joke wasn't high level, and she failed. Hoeru, Rikyo, and all failed due to the prerequisites also being their weaknesses, leaving Genji, Kaku and Kinjiro. And so because of all the fighting, the coolest thing happens. We get their older versions.
Yep, because they're exhausted. They've run out of their eggs.
Well, no. Genji was the cod liver thingies that he was eating that were disgusting.
The thing that looked like Tic Tacs.
Yes. I actually want to see something real quick while you continue. I want to see who the actor was that played him.
The younger act version? No one...
yeah. Shigeru Saiki.
Yeah, the older version.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because I already looked up the younger version.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that.
He didn't do anything I've recognized. But yeah, so they're both old.
He played in Go Buster.
And Kaku is supposed to, in order to win, because he came up with the next matching pairs, in order to win, he had to
dance to a song for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, no, 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
No, 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
5 minutes. But it was funny because you see Fire Candle doing all this dance, and I, like Kaku, I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't have that much energy. So Kinjiro, as an 87-year-old, is like, fine, I'll do it.
And then he starts doing the whitest dance ever.
He's an old man at 87 years old.
But then Kaku just disappears, turns himself into a card to slip through the door, goes to the cafe, gets eggs made, so that when he comes back, Kinjiro has just finished the 5.5 minutes, and
he's so tired.
And Fire Candle's like, how the hell did he get to do that?
It's like, oh, people power, unite!
But then they go back to playing cards, which Kinjiro wins. So the stipulation is he has to defeat card no one. And then Kaku comes in there just in time to feed him eggs so he can revert to his young self. And then they free the other Gozyugers like immediately. Mm-hmm. Kinjiro then, he's the one to don Final Sword and get the new armor. And then we have the mech. Fire Candle's mech combines with... I was confused on, did Fire Candle's mech combine with Card No One, or was that after Card No... Or was Card No One fully defeated first?
Let me just see.
I can't... for some reason, I was kind of confused on that. I was like, wait, does Mech just merge with Card No One?
Oh, yes, he does. A weakened Card No One pleads for Fire Candle to make use of his body as he fuses with King Candelore and becomes Card King Candelore.
And I did love all the fire effects in that sequence. When he's twirling the flaming staff and the fire effects going on. That I really liked. And then we get the new mech. Well, we get Final Sword mech form with combining with all the Tega swords to create another.
The Ryu Tega Sword 5 color.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. I just finished Dawn to Dawn Season 2 today. And having Kinta, who is the character in it, say all these outrageous names for his mech that is inspired by Sentai and Gundam say these excessively long names. When I had to think about these episodes, I'm like, oh my God, Don Don is calling out the ridiculousness of nerd culture, but as a love letter for it. And I'm like, oh my God. It's called Ryu Tega Sword 5 Color. How is that inspirational?
Dragon, Tega Sword, 5 color.
Mm-hmm. That's not inspirational. It's not inspirational by any means.
Oh, I did like when they did have earlier when Kaku and Kintaro were going to face down, and then they did like realistic looking animals for the eagle and the dragon up here. I did like that.
Oh yeah. But then, because one of the things that Kaku keeps on saying throughout this two-parter is, well, you did this so you could become young again. That's why I did this as well. And I think the one cool thing that I think Arakawa put into this is making him reflect on why he chose
to be young.
To be young. And it wasn't to become young and relive his life. It was to have fun again. Because being an old man makes it difficult to party.
Now, there is a flaw with this whole plot, with the plot thing on this aspect, though. Because it pretty much means Kinjiro has no actual character arc for the series. He is just there just to have fun and defend the world. That's all his character is.
But in a way, I don't mind that for him, because if you think about it,
it works. I'm just saying that it means he has no actual. There is no true development for him there compared to the other.
No,
characters.
It requires the actor and the writing to give him development outside of the story building it in. So that's why I like the actor who does Kinjiro.
But my issue with that, though, is these episodes did feel like
they were complete filler.
They were about nothing.
No, they had no purpose.
Yeah.
Because even at the end, with his rival saying, I'm happy you defeated me,
gives him the ring. Although I did laugh at the scene when he's like, okay, let's go get drunk. Well, I'm technically
a minor
in the body of a minor, so I can't get drunk. So then become old for a little bit. But yeah, these episodes, they were entertaining, but they were utterly pointless.
Well, yeah, no. It was, I think, if nothing else, it was just ridiculous fun, which is the point of Kinjiro. Ooh, wow. I'm looking at one of the shelves that's really bent.
The Doctor Who one?
The one that Tails is on.
Oh, well, look at the Doctor Who one above it.
Oh, yeah. But nonetheless, they were fun, but they had no purpose to the story. And there wasn't any value add to it.
Yeah, they were just typical filler fare. Nothing. And that's the hard part, is not every episode has to build on the plot, but when you just ended, it really did feel like the episode 34 ended just so everything could be status quo for Arakawa's 2 episodes here that felt like normal generic episodes. Like, except for the scene of them trying to put the Shinkenger ring on Oto, if you skipped episodes 32 to 35 or 34, you went right from an earlier episode to this one, you would not have known you would have missed this big story arc.
Oh, no. Absolutely.
And that's one of the problems I have with the show, is that you should feel like I missed something plot-wise. Even if it's little tiny bits. Like, there was no mention of Shining Knife and Sweet Cake of what happened to them. There was no mention of the Calamity at all.
No, because you just saw Shiny Knife and Sweet Cake all back to normal in the episode.
Yeah. And that's a big issue I have, is that there is no actual, like, changeover.
There's no consequence of missing an episode. Like with Zets currently, if you miss an episode, you miss way too much. But going back to this, let's go to some of the comments.
Hold on, let me just make sure there's nothing else in my notes I missed. Camera work. Yeah, there was some really cool camera work in these episodes.
Which you already mentioned.
Well, I'm talking about these last two.
Oh, okay.
Because I did love the one fight sequence when Kaku first turned into a Ryu Ranger and was fighting the eyes and stuff with the camera spinning around. I'm like, damn! Imagine having the Die Ranger choreography with the camera work they do today together back in the 90s. That would have been hot.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Actually, that would have been really cool. They would have just killed themselves if they tried that back in the 90s. All right, so Blaze Hopper made the comment first. Whoever is my goat is always goated. Yes, they do a lot with whoever, which because they're putting him as that pinnacle red. Also, his next comment was also card no one is actually Trump no one, which you said, but subbers don't like that, so change name up. So, all right, I'm not going to pick on any suburbs.
Well, no, it's just that's what the thing translates to.
Well, what I'm saying is, if not using the name Trump, right now with how political our world is in America, I'm thinking the America world and the rest of the world as well, because Trump travels. No matter what your political ideology is, and I'm not going to say what is right and what is wrong for each and every person, they don't want to have to politicize 2 episodes of Sentai simply just to keep it Trump no one versus card no one. If the name translates to card, it's better to go the lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah. Like I said, in the Die Ranger movie, Duke of Cards is the translation for Trump, no, whatever. It's whatever. I can't remember what they called him in Japanese.
So Kubernetes also mentioned the name. They were hoping the monster could just learn collectible cards or rampage collectible card stalls. Oh my god, just destroy a whole shit ton of Pokemon cards.
No, destroy the gacha card machines. Maybe you could have a Kamen Rider Gotchard machine there, and he just destroys it.
And then Blaze Hopper says another detail at the end of Die Ranger show, the old folks at here is an old person at the end handing over a younger version like the Die Ranger.
Oh, the generation thing. Yeah, that does make sense.
Oh, yeah, because that did happen.
Because Die Ranger was all about generations.
Oh, and I remember the makeup on those actors.
But yeah, passing his ring on to
passing the torch to
the next generation. That actually is a really good observation. Totally fits with the Die Ranger theme.
The Deny says the only time say name in subs is playing card number 1. That what they do for the English subs. In a bold cut kid who plays cards also has a blue dragon is that Gotchard. Silly Kaiju there is no bar in Sentai, only when Taya wants to throw a party, then a bar exists. Thomas Proctor says, yeah, I was thinking you would be glad that Die Ranger got a focus, and it's a Kinjiro episode, which people have got at just being there. Still kind of being the right time. Is it just me, or Zets and Gozyuger took a break? So, yes, this week there was a break. I can't remember what it's for. I don't think there's any special.
Yeah, it's a sporting event.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, there's no superhero time this week.
That's also why Ultraman was a clip show this week.
Sorry, I had to scratch my back. Does this episode mean that the landlord lady knows about the Gozyuger's identity? Or just small stuff that Kinjiro eats eggs to turn younger and such? Blaze Hopper, that's from the A-Game. So hi, the A-Game.
Hello.
I think Blaze Hopper said no, she doesn't, and Fire Candle sees them turn old for the first time here. I knew Fire Candle saw them for the first time turn old because he was shocked. But I kind of feel like Landlord Lady does know.
I'm so confused on like where she's at because she doesn't know, but she doesn't care, I think is the better way to put it.
Oh, and the Trump no one or card no one took the Odin store's owner's body. So Blaze Hopper says also,
I don't understand. Oh yeah, you have the weird text.
It's all horror themes text style.
Well, I don't even know what you're reading, so.
I'm reading right there.
Also, I can't.
Do you want me to change the text?
I'm just trying to figure out on the computer here where even that is.
Do you want me to find it for you?
No, just read for what it says, because I don't know what you mean by Odin.
Okay. The Odin shop. You know the food?
Oh, Odin. I thought you meant Odin is in the
Not
Norse
the
god. I was like, Odin? What does Odin have to do with this?
Odin.
Okay.
The Trump no one took the Odin store owner's body, which is why why he was eating at that stand when he was being all bummed out in the beginning.
I guess that would make sense.
Oh, the wife's body. That's why the store owner didn't have a problem with it. I wish all monsters did that fusion monster. Oh, for the mech. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. A literal shower, though,
A literal shower, though, I had on the Sentai rumor. Oh, that's rumor. We'll cover that after. Yeah. We'll talk about everything thought about this whole ending of Super Sentai stuff after we get through all these comments.
We all know King Joe was the first combining robot in Japan. Was he?
For Ultra 7?
Oh, very cool. Or was he? Well, he had to be because that was 68.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. And imagine like a Garu themed mech. Oh my god, that would just be a mess. Also, Genji wants to make Kenjiro old again so he can drink. Kenjiro is the developed person. He's already old. I agree, Blaze Hopper. There is an element of he is an old man at 87. What more character development can he really have at 87?
I'm just saying, though, story-wise, yes, that's what I'm saying. He has no character development.
Just realized, Kuberdete said this, just realized I haven't watched the latest episode of Gozyuger, but I do agree the Green Ranger has potential. He has family and a life experience of an 87-year-old man, just needs better attention. Blaze Hopper says, sometimes it's fun to learn lessons and have fun. Kaiju, yeah. Learn lessons, have fun. Don't you remember 80s cartoon where you always got a moral of the story at the end of the episode?
I usually turn the episode off at that point.
Seriously? You never even stayed for the last minute of the moral?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Every cartoon, it felt like, had a moral at the end of their episodes.
I probably did.
Because, Gen X needed for the teenagers and adults, as well as the little ones, we all needed to remember morality. Because Gen X is terrible with morality. And I'm Gen X. You're just a stupid millennial. I don't care about Zep's Armorsaurus. I don't care about Zet's Armorsaurus was better. Bro, all the colors were introduced here. Jake Schuster says that Kinjiro's wife said live his life to the fullest. And do you think it's fitting that Kinjiro is your favorite character and he's the one to get the Die Ranger ring?
That is pretty funny. That is actually really funny.
All right, so and Jake Schuster says the shop owner lady did see Kinjiro transform in an earlier episode.
Oh, well, actually, yeah, I think she might have.
All right, so
now that I'm remembering some of the footage I used in the last review.
Let's get to what a lot of people want to know about, and you know it much better than I do, and that's the rumors.
Okay, so a tabloid or something in Japan recently said that Super Sentai will not be airing on TV Asahi next year. That is technically true. Super Sentai, based on what I've researched on rumors and trademarks, Super Sentai is done. Super Sentai itself ends with Gozyuger. So we have 50 years of the franchise with an endpoint.
Which, if you think about it, for 50 years of a franchise, kind of just like with Doctor Who, it's a nice break.
It's a well-deserved rest, I feel. However, it's moving to a new franchise. So how like we had Boominger ended and moved on to Gozyuger, Super Sentai is ending and moving to a brand new franchise per the rumors. The new franchise is supposedly going to be called Universe Series. And the U is capitalized, the V is capitalized, the S is capitalized because it's going to stand for United Version of Sentai Series. So Universe Series. And it's going to be, and that's going to be what's going to be starting after Gozyuger ends. The rumors say it's going to be only half-year shows from now on. But now, some aren't clear if it means it's going to be 2 shows a year, or if it's really going to be like Ultraman, where it's 1 show a year.
For about 25
episodes. And something else in the meantime, taking its slot for the other half of the year. And that's what this magical theme series is going to be. Now, the other things about it is changing the name of the franchise. Ending Super Sentai means all their ties to Hasbro or whoever the owners of Power Rangers are, if like Hasbro sells it off, is done. They don't have any ties to anyone now with the new franchise.
For the name Super Sentai.
Right, because Super Sentai is done. So let's just call it Universe Series since that's the rumor. So Universe Series is
fresh slate.
Fresh start, brand new, no expectations also because now it has everything's on the table. It doesn't have to have a Red Ranger if it doesn't want to be. Team suits don't have to be uniform to look the same. In fact, some of the rumors coming out of the Magical School series is they actually are more like the suits from a Metal Hero show, where because it's supposed to supposedly start with 3 cast members, and none of the suits look the same, matches the others.
Oh.
And so some people have been using...
Like how in Harry Potter you have like 4 houses, so they're all different colors and different schemes.
Well, so some people have been using Biko, Walter, and Fire as an example of they all are the same theme, but they're completely different looking suits, or because they're robots characters.
But they're going to be human or something.
Yeah, there's supposed to be no robot characters.
Okay.
From what it was said.
So kind of hearkening closer to Metal Hero versus...
In a way, yes.
But not taking away from the Sentai spirits.
Well, it will have the Sentai spirit in there, but it's going to be new across the board because now they're also not tied to a formula that Sentai established. That now you don't really... It isn't going... While it will still be a team series, now... It's not like if the leader gets more focused than the others. Not like, okay, well, in this show, they still had all the characters get focused. Now it's all completely new. So now you can't compare it to Super Sentai.
Well, and you can't compare one Super Sentai series to another, which we're all guilty of. Like, well, our favorite, mine is Hurricane, yours is Die Ranger. Others have their own favorite Super Sentais that could be varying, and we compare them to each other's. And now you're going to have no basis.
Yeah, it's all brand new, nothing established, and as long as they don't follow a set formula going forward, anything can happen.
This probably allows for more creative boundaries too.
Mm-hmm. And I had other thought in there. I was going to say.
Now, are you going to do a separate video on this too?
Oh, I did this in my news report.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not going to do anything like.
Until more data comes out?
Well, I'm not going to do anything like truly on it until there's official statements from Toei.
Oh, okay.
But that's what has been said from the rumors, is that it's going to be, it will still be Sentai-esque, but it's a brand new name, brand new franchise, and also because it's not Super Sentai, their global ties are free, so now they can live stream the show, simulcast the show, like they're doing with Kamen Rider Zets. They don't have any third party middleman to report to do it, whereas with Super Sentai, they have to report to Hasbro. Hasbro has to approve the decision, possibly even give royalties to Hasbro to air this. Everything is brand new. And now the half-year format will also mean less filler episodes.
More story development. Hopefully.
More story development. Also, it might help keep the characters in check so that they're doing more character focus. They're going to have smaller casts at the start and develop those characters more instead of having all these characters.
Well, it'll probably make choice sales more strategic as well, where they're not trying to throw everything.
Well, that and they get the hype of branding a brand new franchise to get kids wanting to buy new toys for a new franchise, rather than people. It's just another Super Sentai series. And the whole reason TV Asahi does not have Super Sentai planned to air next year is because it's not called Super Sentai. So this show will still be on TV Asahi. It's just going to be a brand new thing.
And they're probably letting these leaks come out little by little right now until something's officially announced.
It's not necessarily. The leaks just happen because it's the internet.
Well, yeah.
The internet, no one minds their own business on the internet.
So with this, there's a few comments. So
now the other aspect is, given that it is a brand new franchise, they can make, if they wanted to, they can film the whole show in their green screen rooms all the time now, because they don't need to have it out in the real world, because that Sentai formula is gone. Because Sentai was...
Well, think about how well Gozyuger worked due to that.
But people also missed, though, having real settings. Because even Gozyuger times did the real settings, like the gravel pits, the forest, which I'm sure they'll still do that in this show.
Well, they
in
own
these
it,
new shows. But it means they can film all these new shows in their green screen room, and there's no expectation that they need to be in the real world. Because that's the other thing, that it can be in any universe they want. So, fair game. The other thing also that is being said is that the mechs are going to start being more like where they're Tega Sword, where it's a singular mech. And the rumor for the new show, The Magical School, is the mech's going to be a kaiju, not a humanoid robot.
Okay. So,
and it's only going to be one mech. It's not going to have a team of mechs that merge together.
Well, that's the one thing I will say I like about
So
this.
that's another thing, is that because Sentai was established, became that the team members all have their own mechs for the most part. They form into a humanoid robot. Now they're also free from that stipulation.
So here's some questions. Well, what about the rebrand with the Magical Academy. So the Magical Academy essentially is going to be the first.
That's what it sounds like.
To be like the first series under this new umbrella.
Yep.
And instead of Super Sentai, it's going to be called Universe. Question: if Sentai rebrand is true, would you like if they reduce the episodes down from 50 to 25, like you were saying?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think.
Well, you're open to change as it is.
Year-long Toku shows they have overstayed their welcome. I mean, even Gundam doesn't do year-long shows anymore. There is. I mean, heck, One Piece is now moving to the seasonal format. So the technology has gotten so advanced, costs have gotten so expensive that companies just can't afford to do
especially if you don't have that financial reward.
Year-long shows anymore. The only reason Kamen Rider, I don't see them changing it anytime soon, is because they have just hit the American market and the international market. So they want to get that branding, but at the same time, I could totally see them, if they decide to move Kamen Rider down to 25, they alternate Kamen Rider half a year, send the Universe series the other half, and go back and forth. That you won't have two shows, and that also works out for filming wise, because now they're not focusing on two big shows, they're only focusing on one show at a time. Because when one show they're finishing up filming, they start the production on the next show.
So,
and it also means budgeting. They can take all the money that would have gone to 2 year-long shows and put it into 2 half-year shows.
So a few people are excited that Gozyuger would be the final because at least they end with a bang versus a whimper. So unlike Doctor Who, Sentai will end with that bang. Which, yes, I will say, like, love or hate it. There's going to be people who hate the show. So I'm not going to argue that. But
I mean, I could say it sucks that Sentai goes out with Gozyuger, but I'd rather it go out with Gozyuger than Ryu Soldier.
So Star Wars fan says Kamen Rider is 54 and been going strong for the last 24 years. Well, Kamen Rider has had a lot of dips.
And Kamen Rider has had constant breaks until the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Because from 75 to 79, well, the stronger ending in 75. You had no show in 76, 77, 78. 79, you had Sky Riders. 80, you had Super 1. You had nothing in 82, 83. You had a special in 84 with Z Cross. 85 and 86, nothing. And then nothing from 1990 until Kuga in 2000. Outside of like the 3 movies, but no TV show. So Kamen Rider has not run consistently in its entire
But for
history.
The last 25 years it has.
Yes, but that's 25 years. That still doesn't compare to 48 years of non-stop running.
And you say about 25, 26 episodes, and this is from Deny. Star Wars fan says only half a year like Ultraman. Deny says, so you say about 25, 26 episodes. I like is soft, kind of like MLP or other cartoons. Story focus in 26 episodes is really what they'll do. So they'll focus on story with minimal filler. It's not to say that a 25, 26 episode series doesn't have some filler. But
look at Ultraman.
I was going to say the expectation is that would be more story than filler.
Or, you won't feel the filler drag out as much as you do with a 50-episode series. Because even people complain with Kamen Rider Gav, where they felt 50 episodes was too long for Gav because people felt that the show did drag out in the middle.
So Blaze Hopper says, also Ultraman Omega will end the New Generation era. The show after will have 50 episodes, they believe.
I haven't heard that. I heard they are looking to expand Ultraman episode count.
I don't know if I want a 50-episode series.
But
Ultra.
I don't think they could handle 50 episodes. The show can barely handle 25 episodes at times. I mean, at 50 episodes, we would be having like 10 clip shows.
So now this is a question I'll answer on the business side. from Star Wars fan. So that means we can get DVD complete collections again for past Sentai since Hasbro ties will be cut. No. So
Not for Super Sentai.
So here's the challenge. If Hasbro, from what you said from the contracts, owns all of Super Sentai, just the name in America, that means no. The only way any old series of Super Sentai can be released officially in the United States is it would have to go through Hasbro.
There's two ways.
Well, first, Hasbro.
They have to go through Hasbro to go through Toei. Because Shout Factory had to go through Saban to go to Toei. Shout Factory then had to go to Hasbro to go to Toei.
Yes.
Toei would then report back to Hasbro. Hasbro would then report back to Shout. Shout would then report to Hasbro, who would then report back to Toei.
So business-wise, unless Hasbro approves, no.
Discotech found a loophole that allowed them to license Scheider without having to bother with Hasbro. They said everyone thought they couldn't license Scheider because it was all because of VR Troopers. They found they said they found a workaround that it was more difficult. They didn't straight up say what it was.
Well, they won't because that will fuck over their future contracts.
They just implied that they found a workaround, a loophole that let them bypass Hasbro or Scheider. So it's entirely possible somebody could find a loophole to license Sentai shows, maybe specifically ones that were never adapted into Power Rangers.
That's what I was going to say.
But unless something changes, Hasbro fully owns the Super Sentai rights in America.
So I do feel there was probably a clause, if it was done smartly, and we don't know because we can't see, contracts are not public record. So all we can take is what people share. Unless somebody shares the full contract, which they would be fired in an instant, there could be two elements of the contract. One, it goes from year to year. So it says from when Ranger came out, which was 91 to 92, correct?
92 to
92. So in 1992 on forward, all of those shows are owned by Hasbro. I don't know. This is conjecture. But so it would be a little difficult. So of Disney, does that make Power Rangers basically new Sentai? No. Power Rangers, well, if Disney does...
No. What they're talking about is the new Power Rangers series that Hasbro's doing with Disney. That is fully original.
Oh, yeah. Anything Power Rangers that's not based off of a previously done show is brand new. Now, would it be considered Sentai? Technically, but you'd have to really think about it of what people believe. I'm not going to get into that battle because that's way outside my interest level. In my opinion, the half shows, I hope, part is true. I never cared for when filler episodes air, and this is the A-Games. I think a show needs a balance of filler and story that's reasonable and tolerable. 25 episodes, that's a good start at least. Less filler, possibly less story.
Well, Garo did it perfectly fine for the most part at 25. Most anime series in the 2000s did perfectly fine at 25 episodes. Because Cowboy Bebop, Noir, Outlaw Star, Big O, Wolfsrain, Rasafon, all of them total complete story in 25 episodes. Well, Wolfsrain kind of had some...
Well, they changed in the middle, it felt like.
Well, no, because they had 4 clip shows because they had some production backlog. But if you get rid of those 4 clip show episodes, the series is 26 episodes.
Now, Blazehopper says, Disney won't comparison now if they make their Power Rangers show. But they love things like clip shows or filler, I mean. And filler is not bad. I I am not
It depends how it's done.
anti-filler.
With how many, with shows these days being crammed into like 8 episodes a season now, there is no time for filler.
I'm not a huge fan of filler if it's at least entertaining and it serves a purpose.
Like-
I'm not saying it has to serve a purpose to the story,
That's-
but
I was looking at some clips from that, or like fast forwarding through the first episode of that Armosaurus show. It's 45 minutes long. I'm like, why does the show need to be 45 minutes long?
well,
Barely anything happened in it when I was just like cutting through. Like the action's not until like the last 15 minutes.
now Cooper Nete says, but Japanese love set formulas. How long before they ruin the universe with standard universe formulas?
I mean, it could happen, but at least they now have free reign of whatever. Because I will say, Metal Heroes did a good job of not falling into a set formula. Yeah, the 3 Space Sheriff series had a formula, but even those changed up themselves enough that they didn't feel like they were the same show.
No.
And Metal Heroes did a great job of constantly changing things up.
Or what they did, like when you give your explanation, 3 series were part of a set, like the Space Sheriff, the Rescue Hero, and so on and so forth. Blaze Hopper says, I don't want them to be like actually Sentai is a part of the universe in like year 4. Well, yeah, I don't want them to do this universe. Like if they have the occasional Sentai series, that's not necessarily a bad thing. They can do however they want as long as it's unique. Japanese Spider-Man season 2, let's go. But this technically doesn't mean it's a loophole for Hasbro contract when it's still technically Super Sentai. Just no.
Different trademark, entirely different
Well,
franchise.
that's the thing, VA Games. If it's a different trademark, it is a different product.
Yep.
And that's how, like, okay, I'm going to give you an example. Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Both of them have their cola. They both have their lemon lime drink. And both of them have their root beer drinks.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about they both have the cocaine. They both have the...
No, they actually... And if you think about it, from all the way back in the beginning, Coca-Cola and Pepsi were both pharmaceutical products. Only one had cocaine. But they were both introduced and trademarked initially as pharmaceutical products. They both have the same formulas, not drink formulas. I mean, like I said, cola, lemon lime, root
same
beer.
ingredient, same styles of choices
Yes,
of pop.
Exactly. But they're very, very different.
Okay, actually, let's do this. Super Sentai is Dr. Pepper. Universe series is Mr. Pibb.
Oh, I actually saw Mr. Pibb being sold in stores in 12 packs.
That is, they're completely different.
But the formula is actually the same.
Not quite. Mr. Pibb definitely tastes a lot different.
But it's pretty much the same formula, just with a little bit of a difference.
But that little bit of difference makes a big difference.
But you could also think about it as Power Rangers and VR Troopers. Both of them are the same thing. Essentially, if you think about the formula that even VR Troopers was doing in America, but 2 different trademarks.
But that's why bootlegs can change the name of something and not be held accountable.
Well, exactly. Trademark is everything, especially in American corporate law. Trademarks, if they did not license a trademark, it doesn't exist in that contract. Now, if they really wanted to fight it, do they have a case? And the answer is technically yes. If Hasbro really wanted to fight it,
But
and
that
say,
would have so much money.
oh, it would be a waste of money. But if Hasbro really wanted to fight it they honestly have a case.
But they'd still lose in the long run because
technically it's 50-50. It depends on how the series goes.
But it's a fully different trademark. So no.
But I think Sentai should take a break for like 11 years to let the old hero heads go away. Okay. Sentai, the thing that we have to all remember, Sentai is not going away. So every time we talk about this, the one thing we don't want to go in a circle is Sentai is not going away. The style of Sentai is going away.
And the brand name.
Yes.
But as far as I'm concerned, the brand name is the... So Super Sentai is ending. But a new thing is taking over.
Now, one person said that's going to make it look cheap as heck. Yes, it's going to look cheap. So a lot of companies do this. Now, if you think about bigger car companies, they do it all the time. Look at pickup trucks, for example. They all look the same, but they're different because of different manufacturers.
Well,
and it's a very commonplace thing that a trademark can just change one word and be a whole new thing.
Okay, let me put it else in this sense. Comic books back in the Silver Age. You had, when a comic book was replaced with a new series, the reason Amazing Fantasy became Amazing Spider-Man is because they didn't have to pay the post office for a new comic book. It was just a rebranding. So Amazing Fantasy might have ended technically, and Amazing Spider-Man replaced it. But per the rules, because Amazing Fantasy became Amazing Spider-Man, Marvel didn't have to pay the post office for a brand new franchise. They continued to pay for the Amazing Fantasy print shipping fee on their new title. That's just like why EC Comics went from, you would have something that went from the Crypt of Terror to Tales, well, something, I forgot what comic line went from, it went from that to Crypt of Terror.
Well, are we thinking of like Detective Comics going to Batman?
Well, Detective Comics always did.
Oh.
But no, a comic line, I think it might have been Crime, went from Crime Stories to Crypt of Terror to Tales from the Crypt. And the reason they kept the numbering also the same in the 50s, so whereas Spider-Man started at 1, Tales from the Crypt continued the numbering is because of the way it worked.
Well, there's a difference between rebrand and new trademark. A rebrand is, think of Crystal Pepsi. Failed. That was a rebrand because they're trying something new. And a new trademark is like, trying to think of a good example. What's a good example, do you think? But nonetheless, okay. But if it goes, we don't have what King Oger, like Blaze Hopper says, if we go to 25 episodes, we won't have a quality drop like King Oger.
Probably not. And also, if they're going to use the green screen room, that means more money given towards the early part of the whole series rather than having a budget that starts to diminish the later you get into the show.
Games does not like the idea of full screen. Jake Schuster does not like the full green screen.
Oh.
Jake Schuster does not like what they're hearing.
Well, I'm just saying that they could use the full green screen now full time without having to be required to do what Sentai had been doing in the past.
Blaze Hopper says, why Academy though? People will expect Academy every season. Jake Schuster is concerned about AI. So AI...
I wouldn't worry about AI.
AI is going to happen no matter what. Everybody's going
as long as they don't use it like that Power Rangers fan series that's coming out was using it in their premiere.
And I don't think the Academy idea is going to be that's just think of it like a Sentai series. They're doing an academy for a Sentai series. It's just because the introduction of the universe series is an academy does not mean it's going to forever be that way. But moving on, what is your ideal year-long length episode count? Like if you had a series that only aired once a year, what is your ideal episode count?
I frankly like the 49 episodes. If I'm going to do, I don't know, something just like ending at 49 episodes has a nice ring to it.
The A-Game says, so does this new rebrand format mean Sentai is basically just Kamen Rider in format, but just not year-long, with all the newer rumors of the suits looking more unique between each other?
It's possible.
If that helps to kind of put it into a box, absolutely. I think that makes the closest sense. I don't really feel Gov drags. I generally like the episodic format over serialized format.
Gov was serialized. It's just because it had a lot of story. I never felt like it dragged.
But it had elements that could be episodic. Like if you watch 2 parts, well, actually, no, you couldn't miss 2 episodes and fully.
There were only a handful of episodes you could actually skip.
So it depends on the series.
Like that clip show, you could skip that one.
So I like episodic just as much as I like serialized. It depends on what I'm watching. Like Simpsons, that's completely episodic. Tales from the Crypt is episodic. Doctor Who is more serialized. The new show is actually called Universal Senshi Grasshoppers per Blaze Hopper. I don't have any official there. Didn't Hasbro only own full Sentai rights up to Ryu Soldier at one point? This is per A-Games. I don't know what the contract says, so I can't speak to the contract, but I thought they had a blanket ownership of Super Sentai.
As far as I know, they have access to any Super Sentai series they want to use.
And Blaze Hopper says, I mean, Disney basically is a new Sentai then, because spandex and color coding. Well, that's been around for well before even Sentai existed, color coding. That's actually been, even in a lot of historical documents, that colors relate to certain things. Armorsaurus, I have not watched it, so I can't speak to it. Kaiju, that was a series premiere. Of course, it's 45 minutes. It's a special. They go back to 23 episodes past episode 1 for Armorsaurus.
Oh, 23 minutes? Well, that's good to hear.
Kubernete went to the US, tried Dr. Pepper. I don't think they taste good at all. Tastes kind of like cough syrup. Truthfully, a lot of people have said that about Dr. Pepper.
It tastes nothing like cough syrup. But wasn't it actually considered cough syrup at one point?
Yes, it was. Because actually, if you drink Dr. Pepper, and sometimes if I have a really sore throat, I will drink Dr. Pepper because the ingredients actually can feel like it's cauterizing your throat. Water is better, yes. And then Star Wars fan says you can't kill Sentai. So
they can do whatever they want. They own it.
What if they do bring back the brand? Then the citizens will be like, the old thing is back, so it's good now.
All I know is it's been 50 years. Let the show rest.
It's like Paramount and the new line with Jason Voorhees when the movies weren't called Friday the 13th. I should rebrand my channel.
Oh, that is a good example. Because when New Line got the rights to do Jason Voorhees, they just couldn't call the movies Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's why it's called like Jason Takes Manhattan.
No, Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Jason X, Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason the remake was called Friday the 13th was because they had teamed up with Paramount to do the remake.
Blaze Hopper says I should rebrand my channel then to reach a wider audience. Actually, people do that all the time.
Why do you think I changed this channel to Toku and Animation News Network?
I thought that user was talking about the green screen idea when they commented it's going to be like cheap as heck. Oh, I see. No one can get rid of, this is aka Eagle. No one can get rid of Super Sentai. Let's see.
All right. Let's up. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we in comments? No one can get rid of Super Sentai. Imagine the Magic School is Spider-Man season 2. Every wizard student. Okay, that was like a long. Rebrand was that of series The Closer, which became
Yep,
Major
I remember
Crimes.
that. And Joy Division when they became New Order. Those are two bands from the 80s. And then
If AI is an issue, call Hidden Naruto. You just says, well, at least I was tired of Toku anyway. Too much never-ending series.
well, and see, that's the other thing I think people should be a little accepting of. It takes a break from what you know so that you can try something new, or you can feel like you can walk away that, oh, it's over. Because think of it like any of the shows you watch. I know MLP, Friendship is Magic, is probably not the best example, but when that ended, people had a choice of like, okay, that was a great conclusion. Now, when Gen whatever comes out, I can choose to watch it.
So, comments here. Sentai already has AI, obviously with Kuon. But okay, so
but
Anthony says they would love to see an updated Gokaiger theme for the end of the franchise. It's updated to complete. I actually said that I would like to see a few things occur in the final episode of Gozyuger. First, the Akiba Rangers come in and save the day at the last minute from the calamity, and they become a true 50th Sentai series. Secondly, I hope that they do like an anniversary special after that has as many cast members as they can get from the franchise to do some good send-off and a thank you for the audience. It would probably even have it an hour-long episode.
I just thought what I want a special episode of Tokusatsu Ga 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 with all of the cast crying about this change since they were like super into Sentai.
Well, their version of Sentai.
Yeah.
Have a special episode that franchise is coming to an end. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. But have a grand finale that just is like a send-off that features all the actors from the past show.
I will say the one benefit about being closer to 50 than closer to 20 is I have seen so many series come and go. I have walked away from so many franchises over the years that a change like this actually doesn't break my heart as much as others.
Well, and the other thing,
and I know that's so callous to say, but kind of like what you just said, there's a part of me that's like, this is actually a nice vacation.
Well, as I said, there's an end point, and let's be real, how many people upset about this, like truly upset, have actually watched every single series? Sentai series.
Mm-hmm.
Have they watched every single Sentai series?
And how many people upset about this have taken an opportunity to go backwards and watch older series?
Or rewatch their favorites.
So and could this rebrand or this new trademark be a wonderful failure? Absolutely. The one thing I will say in entertainment over the last 50 years and 45 that I've experienced, I have seen so many wonderful failures. Gem was a wonderful failure. He-Man, when they tried to redo it multiple times, was a wonderful failure.
Thundercats was rebooted in 2011.
That was a wonderful failure. Transformers, trying to go away from the original style and having all those new series to make it big again were wonderful failures.
Well, not all of them were failures.
No, I'm just saying some of them were. I have seen so many failures when people take a risk and try something new that I actually become immune to it after a while.
And that's just it. You need a franchise that's 50 years old needs to take risks. And severing it from the tie of being called Super Sentai, allows them to do that risk. So I am excited to see where things go. If it fails spectacularly, you know what? It is what it is. I've got my favorite Sentai shows to look at. Now, but yeah, again, with the people who, how many people have actually watched every Sentai series that are like super upset about this? It's like, hey, guess what? This gives you now the infinite time to go and watch every series you have not seen before.
And that's not to say that people who are our age aren't disappointed about it. I imagine there's a lot of people who have watched all the series and it's almost like an old friend has passed away. I understand that and I respect that because there is a sadness. I can only think of what all the people when Doctor Who was taken off the air in the first time and how many people were so sad about it because it was a part of their lives for so long. I've been there. I have watched great things come and go, and it sucks, but it is awesome to see them try something new.
Here's something funny, because we got to get going in a moment, but let's see, where'd it go? Let's make an hour-long episode where Akiba Red tries to save Sentai but doesn't know it's just a rebranding.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Hand me that thing when you lean forward.
Which thing?
The nail grinder.
Not right now. But we have got to go. So as always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking on the supporters. You can support us on Patreon and Bluesky at tokuaannetwork, Facebook, Instagram, Discord at Kaiju no Kami. The website is creativitybydesign@oc.com. You can buy cool Kaiju no Kami merchandise that's linked on the website somewhere on YouTube. There's also some GoFundMes in the link below to help the channel survive another 10 years and for health purposes. And if you're going to Ranger Stop in 2 weeks, definitely come and say hi to us. If you're cosplaying and all, I definitely want to record you and take pictures for the video that I'll end up doing.
And then
sadly, we won't be doing any panels because they never put out any panel submission forms from what it seemed like. And yeah, I don't even know if they're doing fan panels, period, at this convention.
And the only thing I'll say outside of that is if you're able to donate to food banks, the months of November and December are the hardest for people who don't have a lot of food. So I always recommend take advantage, do something kind for people, even if it's only doing 2 cans of 55-cent vegetables. It just always helps go a long way to make sure that people have food in their stomachs.
Yep. And that's pretty much all we've got for this round. So we'll probably end up doing another Gozyuger one, probably closer to Christmas, actually, because we'll have to do Omega and Zets once we've got Silver Quill with us.
Yep.
So until next time, bye. And I hit end.